Hello people, welcome back to Broad Canadian. So guys, let's dive into the latest update on Canada immigration. So the latest express entry draw is out and the cutoff score is same as last one, that is 469, and 5,000 applications have been invited. So that's a great news. Score is still below 470, although I did predict in my previous video that it might drop to 466 to 468, but they are still sticking it with 469. Good news is that it hasn't gone beyond 470. So hopefully in the next draw it might drop to 466. So fingers crossed for that one. And in today's video, I'll also be talking about Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program for Express Entry. People who are struggling to get a score of 450 or above or even 400 and they cannot clear the cutoff in the express entry, they can apply for SINP, because this program, what they basically do is they pick up the profiles from the express entry pool, provided you apply for expression of interest for Saskatchewan province. So in this video, I'll share the details of this program so that you can apply for it. And if you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing to my channel for all the immigration latest updates on Canada. And also sometimes I also post some informational vlogs or videos as well. So please do hit the like button as well for this video. Plus don't forget to subscribe. So let's dive into this program. So guys, in this video, as I told you, I'll be talking about SINP, that is International Skilled Workers category, to immigrate to Canada in the year 2021 or 2020. So we'll start with the overview and then I'll tell you about the eligibility criteria for this, and then step-by-step process on how you can apply for this program, and in the end I'll talk about the latest draws that are happening for this program. So let's start with the overview. So for SINP, it's basically divided into three categories. The first one is Saskatchewan Experience, and second one is Entrepreneur and Farm Stream, and the third one is International Skilled Worker Stream. So international skilled worker is the one that we'll be talking about today, which is further divided into three categories. First one is express entry, second one is occupation in demand, and the third one is employment offer. So in this video, I'll be talking about the express entry stream in particular. So guys, let's talk about the eligibility criteria. And in eligibility criteria, the first one is you need to have an active express entry profile, then language requirements, education requirements, work experience, or settlement funds. So all these 5 points that I've just mentioned, so the eligibility criteria will be based on your express entry profile system. So if you want to check the eligibility criteria or the requirements for all these 5 categories, you can check the video out on my channel. I will provide the link in the description box below. Go there, check it out. So basically all these 5 requirements will depend on the express entry profile system. And the criteria that I will like to talk about is points assessment grid. So you basically need is 60 out of 100 points to qualify for SINP, and you need to apply for this through an expression of interest system. So let's get into the nitty-gritty details on how this point system works. So guys, this is the link for the points assessment grid. I will provide the link in the description box below, so you go and check it out as well. So let me explain how this point system works for SINP. So if you go down, as you'll see here in the first line, you need 60 out of 100 points to apply for SINP. And then the first factor is labor market success. And if you go scroll down a bit, maximum points that you can get for factor 1 is 80 points. Let's do a breakdown of how you will get these 80 points. So the first one is education and training. So if you guys have a master's degree, you will get the maximum points, that is 23. And if you have a bachelor's degree, you will have points, that is 20. And if you have a certification equivalent to a journey person status in Saskatchewan, that will give you 20 points. And I know like most of you guys will not have it because you will have to be in Saskatchewan in order to claim these points. And then we move on to a Canadian equivalency diploma. So if you guys have a diploma that is at least 3 years in length, you will get 15 points. So if you have a program that is less than 2 years in length, you will get a 12 points for that. Let's move on to the next one, that is skilled work experience. So for skilled work experience, if in the period of 5 years prior to the application submission date. So that means, so let's say if you're applying tomorrow, prior to from today onwards, like last 5 years, if you have experience in last previous 5 years, then you will get around 10 points. That is the maximum that you can get, and it will go down as your experience decreases. So 4 years will give you 8 points, and so on and so forth. So if you talk about if you have experience 6 to 10 year period prior to application submission date. So let's say if you have the experience 6 years ago of the field that you're applying in, then you will obviously get less points because your experience is quite old. So for that, for 5 years you will get maximum of 5 points. For 4 years you will get 4 points, 3 years will get 3 points, and so on and so forth. Third category, that is language ability. So for language ability, the maximum you can get is 20 points. So 20 points, that is CLB level 8 or higher. So in this case, you will need to score very good score in the IELTS. That is minimum of 777-8. That will get you more than CLB level 9, I guess. And if you get CLB level 7, you will get 18 points. CLB level 6, that is 16 points. You are getting good enough points for not much of a CLB level. So that means in IELTS, even if you get like triple or like 4 sevens in reading, listening and writing, you can get CLB level 8. So it can give you 20 points. So that's a good news for you guys. So, and the next one is second language test. So if you guys go ahead and do a second language like French, CLB level 8 and higher will give you 10 points, and so on and so forth. And the last factor here is age. If you go down to this table, the maximum points you will get is when you are between 22 to 34 years of age. So that is going to give you 12 points. So the maximum points that you can score from factor 1 is 80. And I'll suggest you should try to get as much points from this factor, because if you talk about the second factor, most of you people who are outside Canada or who are outside Saskatchewan, you guys will not be able to get a lot of points from factors number 2. So let me give you a breakdown of how the points are shared for factor number 2. First one is close family relative in Saskatchewan. That can give you a 20 point. And past work experience in Saskatchewan will give you 5 points. Past student experience in Saskatchewan, that will also give you 5 points. So the maximum that you can get from factor 2 is 30 points. And in the end, the maximum total will be from the factor 1 plus factor 2, that is 110 points. So you need minimum 60 points out of these factors to qualify, but that certainly doesn't mean that you will get an invite if you get more than 60 points. I will share the details of the draw in the end of this video, where I will show you what were the cutoff scores for the previous draws. So before that, let's move on to the step-by-step process on how you can apply for SINP Express Entry category. The first step is you will need to have an active Express Entry profile so that SINP can pick your profile from the pool. And make sure when you're creating your profile under the provinces and territories section, you need to select all provinces and territories. Don't just pick Saskatchewan. I would recommend just click on all provinces and territories. So step number 2 is create an expression of interest profile. So let me walk you through how you can create this expression of interest profile. So guys, this is the link for creating your expression of interest for SINP. So I'll provide the link in the description box below. So you go on to this page, click on create an account, and then you need to select a registration type, and you will select here SINP application or expression of interest candidate. Continue. Here you will need to create a username and add details like your first name, middle name, family name, date of birth and email ID. So after you put in your details along with your email ID, they will send you your username and password. You can use that to log into the portal. And then it's going to ask you for setting up your new password. So guys, this is the main portal. Here you will need to click and start the process. So you'll give your name, middle name, surname, date of birth, your passport information, and then the address, city, province, current address. And here you will need to select, this is a very important point here, so you will need to select I am a skilled worker who wants to work and live in Saskatchewan if you're not in Saskatchewan. And if you have a foreign national already working in Saskatchewan, you will have to click this one. And if you want to establish a business in Saskatchewan, you will have to select the next one. So you just put in these details. After that, what you will need to do is you need to provide more information regarding your job and all that kind of stuff. You can go ahead with that process because I'm not going to apply this right now. But if you find any problems while going through that process, you can do let me know in the comment box below, and I'll definitely try and answer your questions. So after creating your expression of interest profile and uploading all the necessary information, so once you have received the invitation to apply, you must log in using the same account that you just created your expression of interest profile. So after logging into your account, you need to complete the different sections of your online application, scan it and upload all your completed forms and documents. So while creating your expression of interest, you don't need to upload any document, but once you get the invitation to apply, you need to upload all the documents along with the forms that are required for this application. So you need to pay a fees as well. So while creating your expression of interest, you don't need to pay any fees, but once you have received an invitation to apply, you will need to pay a $350 fees that is non-refundable. And if you are approved for immigration under SINP, you will be nominated to the federal government for permanent residency status. So what happens after nomination? Let's talk about that. So the SINP will enter the details of your nomination in the express entry system, and then IRCC will ask you to confirm that you accepted the nomination, and you will have 30 days to accept the SINP nominations in the express entry system. After you accept your SINP nomination, IRCC will invite you to apply for permanent residence. You will have 60 days to submit the application with all the documents. Be sure to follow the instructions from IRCC on how to submit your application. I will provide that link in the description box. And then comes IRCC will send you instructions on how you can submit your medical. They may also ask you for the more documentations. In some cases, you have to attend an interview as well. If you meet all the requirements, IRCC will issue a permanent resident visa for you and your accompanying family member. Now let's talk about the latest draws that have been happening for SINP. Unlike some other categories that have stopped giving out invitations because of COVID-19, SINP is still giving out invitations. The latest draw that happened was on 1st December 2020, and you will see here that the lowest score was 74. And if you remember earlier, I told you that 80 points, so out of 80 you will need to get maximum points. So, but if you talk about a draw on 3rd November 2020, the cutoff score was 68 and 272 invitations were given out. So I'll say if you score out of 110 around 70 or 72 points, that will give you a great chance to apply for SINP Express Entry profile. And one more thing I want to mention is that there is an excluded occupation list. So if you belong to the occupation list for one of these categories, you will not be able to get the SINP Express Entry invitation. So let me show you the excluded occupation list. So this is where you will be able to find the excluded occupation list. So if you go down here and click here, download excluded occupation list. I'll provide this link in the description box below for your help. So guys, this is the PDF file. You can go through it and find if your occupation is not eligible. So basically these are all the knocks that are not eligible if you want to apply under SINP's express entry or occupations in demand category. So guys, that's all for the SINP express entry system. So if you have any doubts, do let me know in the comment box below. I already have a video for one of the categories for SINP, that is occupation in demand category. I will share that link in the description box below as well. You can go and check out that video too. That's all for today's video. Please do hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for all the latest and the greatest update for Canada immigration and lifestyle. And until we meet next time,